Today, gang, we're going to look at the positive aspects of being in a shutdown, quarantine, house arrest, kill the economy. What are some of the inspirational moments we can take away from what we've been going through?
Before the lockup, do you mind telling me who the masked man is?
The Adventures of Corona Man. Yeah. Some states are starting to reopen. Other states are going into further lockdown. You have places like Michigan, where every time the people try to exert the whole notion of we the people, the Governor Whitmore, she decides to just tighten the reins even tighter. In California, they reopen, they reclose. They reopen, they reclose. They open the beaches, they close the beaches. They fine and arrest people for just walking by looking at the beach, even if they're not actually on the beach. Los Angeles is now shut down indefinitely. They're not even considering reopening it until maybe August, maybe September. Hollywood seems to be perfectly fine with that as they kill their own industry, because you won't be allowed to be out filming, shooting, doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is making TV shows and movies. So there's going to be no new content if theaters do try to open. That's a brilliant strategy you got going there, Hollyweird. But hey, you know what? There are other places that make movies, and they're about to take over the market. But you know what? That's perfectly okay with me. So there are some positive up things that we can start looking at now. The backlash that's coming, that's brewing. First of all, does anyone in their right mind actually think that Joe Biden ever really had a lead over Donald Trump? Because now we have reports that CNN, with their own poll, shows Donald Trump beating Joe Biden in all of the swing states and all of the battleground states. They wouldn't release it. Their own poll. They have been perpetrating this canard, this prevarication, this outright lie. If we take nothing away from this particular election cycle, how about the fact that we can once and for all say, don't believe the polls. Don't believe them, because the media and the career politician, lobbying, polling, data collecting individuals that try to force you into a behavior, into a way of think, they are coming up wrong again. There is no way that there was ever a groundwell of support or excitement for Joe Dementia Biden. And every time he holds any kind of event, even online, it is a certified train wreck disaster. And of course, CNN, the president is gaining a little edge. No, it's going to be a landslide. And this is one of the positives that we can now take away from all of this madness, is that people are waking up, people are realizing what's happening, they are pushing back, and there will be a backlash at the ballot box. Case in point, California. We flipped a House seat. It wasn't supposed to happen, especially when they took away basically people's rights to a real vote and tried to manipulate it through mail-in. The only way to explain it, because you have the Democrats in California controlling that entire election process, the only way you can explain the fact that a conservative Republican flipped a Democratic seat, a miracle of God, obviously. But what was the tool God used? Democrats themselves. There are, trust me, you won't hear this on PMSNBC, CNN, you won't even hear this on faux pas news, formerly known as Fox News. There is terror sweeping through the DNC right now. They know that Biden is imploding. They know it. They know that Donald Trump is in by a landslide. They know it. They're doing everything they can to drag out this pandemic, hoping that they can pull down his support, pull down his numbers, and if they have to, close polling places across the nation, and we're going to do it by mail. And then they can manipulate, lose ballots that are coming out of conservative areas that arrive 3 weeks after the election's been certified. Kind of the hogwash that they pull here in the state of Ohio. That said, what they can't do is actually, well, I guess they technically could change how the ballots are marked. You know, Karl Marx once said, people who vote decide nothing. People who count the votes decide everything. Interesting way of looking at that. The only way you can really explain what happened in California, Democrats, liberals, crossed the party line and voted for a Republican. Bum, ba-dum, bum. And I think you're going to start seeing that now across the nation. Some of you draconian governors, Cuomo, Murphy over there in New Jersey, you reject from the Sopranos crew. You guys better keep it in mind that your own constituents are very frustrated with what you're doing. Your own party members in your own states are frustrated by what you're doing. First of all, even liberal Democrats, for the most part, are capitalists. They own businesses, and they're going broke right now. And the livelihoods of people are at stake and at risk. And I said it yesterday, I will say it again. Thank God for Rand Paul pushing back on the so-called expert Dr. Fauci Stein. Thank God that he stood up and said, why are you an expert? You have been wrong about everything. I've been screaming that for weeks. These experts have been wrong about everything. We have another so-called expert testifying before the House today that the president needs to listen to science. Why? Science isn't always right. How many times through the years have science books had to be amended and updated because they were wrong about stuff? Remember, it was medical experts who said the way we're going to help President Washington get better is to put leeches on his body and bleed him. That was the expert opinion of the day. I have respect for science. They have given us some incredible discoveries. No ifs, ands, or buts, no question about it. But when things are in flux, when we so-called don't know, then one guy, Fauci Stein, the evil love child of Dr. Kevorkian, doesn't get to be the be-all, end-all final word. We need to hear from other doctors who have other views, other opinions. We need to start looking at what other nations have done. And not just the nations that are doing the draconian lockdown that we like. Places like France, where apparently for 8 weeks people were confined to their homes. They could only go outside once a day to get some fresh air, but they couldn't even go to a grocery store. They had to have everything delivered. That's insane. That is beyond insane. But they don't want to look at places like Japan, Sweden, who didn't close down, and their numbers, percentage-wise, are in line with the United States. Well, Shazam, Batman. Is the reason we don't want to look at that because it doesn't fit the narrative of the lockdown? The radio station I'm on, AM 840, WPGS, we have a Sunday format called Oldie Sunday. And it's radio programming that plays all 1950s, early 1960s, rock and roll, doo-wop, etc. And we've got some syndicated programs on there. One of our presenters is a guy named Dennis. He goes by Big D on the air, Big D's doo-wop vault. And he lives in the city of Philadelphia. And recently he went to his local park where he likes to run, walk, exercise, work out. And he shared this.
Hey folks, how y'all doing? Yeah, it's yours truly, Big D. Listen, I came to the park that I go to 4 to 5 days out of the week to exercise. And here's what greeted me when I got to the park. Now look at this park now. It is a huge, humongous park. It's about 6 blocks long or more. Now look at this. Read this. COVID-19 alert. Playgrounds and athletic courts are temporarily closed. All right, look at this. So I can't touch this. You see, I can't touch it, but I can go into Walmart. I can go into Costco. I can go into Target. I can be around other people and touch all the items that they are touching themselves. And that's safe. But I can't come to an outside playground and use the exercise equipment. That's dangerous. You know, so for all of you moronic, sheepish fools that support this lockdown, that are pro-lockdown and support this stupid closing down of parks and exercise equipment outside in the sun, give me the science behind this. Give me the science behind it is safe to go into Walmart, Target, Costco, and touch all the items that thousands of other people are touching, but I can't come to an outside playground that's in the sun. That's a danger. Give me the science behind this, you friggin' idiots.
Great question. Exactly. Come on, experts. Where's the science to back up, hey, you can walk in Costco, Walmart, you can pick up and put in your cart something that was touched by how many people? Well, start from the point of origin, the manufacturing plant, the shipping department, the warehouse workers, the Walmart stock boy who put it on the shelf, and all the other people that came along, looked at it, touched it, felt it, squeezed it, stuck it back on the shelf, and then you came along, you picked it up, you bought it. I don't care if you got a mask on or gloves on, you still brought something into your house touched by other people. Now, if we can do that safely, which we can, where's the science to say I can't go into a park, an open field, in direct sunlight, and I can't touch the park bench or the playground equipment, or I could die? The experts have been wrong. The hyperbole is over the top, and here is the benefit that I am taking away from all of this. This is going to be the death knell to the libloons who have cracked the whip and are forcing all of this, because even though, yes, half the country are sheeple, the other half does think, and all we need is about a quarter of the sheeple to start thinking and asking questions too. To start looking around. I'm talking to people that come from a liberal persuasion themselves, and even they're looking around saying, this thing didn't get anywhere near what they predicted. So why are we still in lockdown? And why is everything being done in these so-called stages? Again, childcare facilities and schools closed, while there's no eyes on these kids who could be trapped at home with a predator, a molester, an abuser. No outside eyes looking at the kids. That's going to come out when this is over. And I'm telling you, the longer this drags on, this is the upside. The better it will be for conservatives and patriots at the ballot box. Because people, even Democrats, understand who it is right now who is crushing and limiting their freedom. And it is going to backfire, because by nature, I don't care whether they're liberal or conservative, Americans want to be free. This is the land of the free. And isn't it interesting? A political party that in the 1960s during Vietnam, they championed this whole question authority. Stand for civil rights, man. Freedom of speech, man. Say whatever you want, man. You can't stop me from saying it, man. And now all of a sudden, they're the ones that want to restrain everything on social media, want to keep you from saying anything that doesn't fit the narrative, the propaganda, the spin. And now all of a sudden, they're the ones that question nothing coming from the so-called experts, but we are to get in line and do as you're told. May I see your papers, please? And I'm telling you, this is going to backlash. In the meantime, what we need to do is not starve to death and go bankrupt. So say no to Pelosi's multi-trillion-dollar, $76,000 per family giveaway. And we need the Republicans to hold the line, and we need the president to hold the line with Fauci Stein and just say, this is it. We are done with this nonsense. We are reopening America. And you governors, in particular you Republican governors, open them states and open them wide. I mean, stop this stagnated, slow-walking, this is a bunch of hogwash. We're going to trigger this, we're going to trigger that. Bullhawk. Get your state open. And by the way, you need to even turn off faux pas news, formerly known as Fox News, especially those 5 goofballs on at 5. What's his name? Gut Check, Gut Hurl, Gut Fuzz, whatever his name is. Oh, shut up. You're a stand-up comedian who wasn't funny and somehow you landed a gig on Fox News. Go away. Go away. And, you know, who can take Jesse Watters serious? You know, Mr. Tan in the can, and he's always kind of smiling like he's a 7th grader, and he's like, you just told a naughty joke in the boys' room. You know, it's no wonder Fox News you get made fun of. And then you got 5-line Hannity. It repeats the same 5 lines over and over. Tucker Carlson's doing good pushback. Laura Ingraham makes great points even when she's talking over the top of her guests. But there are some hopeful things that we can look at right now. And the biggest takeaway, hopeful, this is going to backfire on these draconian wannabe dictators. And more people are wising up to what Fauci and Gates are up to with this mass quarantine. And they're saying, no, no, no. By the way, you now have governors saying in other states, hey, baseball, hey, basketball, come to our states. We'll let you play with fans. Ooh. Ooh. It's going to get good. And by the way, I predict a real boom for business coming to Texas. California, you can say bye-bye-bye to Tesla. And how many other companies will head for the Lone Star State? Why? Because Americans want to be free. That said, hang in there. Help is on the way. And I'm not talking about help from Washington or the experts. Help because your fellow citizens are pushing back. You have businesses that are now suing states, like all of the gyms got together and they're suing the state of Ohio. Hey, why can't we reopen? Everything else is reopening. Why can't we reopen? Just think about the logic of what we're being told by these so-called experts. You can't go into a furniture store. You can't go into a florist. But you can go to Walmart and buy furniture. You can go to your local supermarket that also sells flowers and buy flowers. But you can't go to a store that sells flowers to get flowers. So we can make it safe for people to walk around Costco, Menards, Home Depot, the grocery store. But we can't make it safe to walk around a florist. Come on. And the final thought. If people can sit on a plane in face masks for 2, 3, 4 hours in close proximity, even if they leave the middle seat open. Last time I checked, the middle seat wasn't 6 feet wide. So even if they leave that middle seat open, they sit on that plane 2, 3, 4 hours. But they can't sit next to each other in church or at a ball game. or a concert or a Trump rally? See, either these experts are really stupid or there's something else going on and it has nothing to do with our health. Hey, that's it for this rant. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up and a like. I always appreciate that. I do read your comments, so please make sure you're commenting below. And some of you guys are really funny. I get a big kick out of them. And some of you that want to come on here and argue with me, play at your own risk, children. That said, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you have smacked the bell to get notification of my next rant when you click the word all.